All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. Today we're going to look at and let me get the actual name of it. It's the metal robot, the robot spirits, Zeta Gundam. Even though it says metal, I think it's just because there are some joints in it, and there's some pieces that are metal. The whole thing isn't metal, although it's a high-quality plastic. And just like the double Zeta, it has that Ka signature look, so we see like the details, kind of a little bit more of an angular design as well. All right, and here is the big boy stand it came with. We saw this with the Kazai Gundam, the Kshatriya, the Penelope, some with the bigger pieces. It's kind of a universal stand, but there's some issues with that, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I gotta say, this was probably one of my most anticipated releases, and it turned out to be one of the most disappointing, even though I still think it's worth the price. Here it is next to the standard Robot Spirits version, so we can kind of get a quick look at some of the differences. I'll zoom in just a little bit. We can kind of see some of the, the design of the chest, for instance. That's kind of what I like to look at first. There's more of that angular design I was talking about, as it comes down in angles. It does that here too, but it's not as abrupt as an angle, and it kind of keeps it more of that form. Also, we can kind of see where there's the up near the head. You can see even the blue on the back. That part's a little different here. It has kind of like, it could be part of that metal that's back there. There's less plastic on this. And then also under the head, and let's look at the faces are a little bit different. They're kind of the same overall, but there's a little bit of difference. Even the size of the sensor above is just slightly different. It's not a huge difference, but enough that the Ka signature seems to do. So yeah, we'll move this away for a second. I'm gonna remove some of the extra accessories so we can go over articulation. All right, real quick, one thing I did not do is remove the backpack because that was a pain to put on. I thought I would break it. There's not many places I can hold to apply force without thinking I'm going to break it. So that actually did take me some time. I may have to adjust it for the transformation mode. And yeah, that's right, I didn't mention it, but this does do the transformation to the Wave Rider. So we'll get into that here shortly. But yeah, let's take a look at the articulation. For the backpack real quick, because it does transforming, there's a lot going there. And this part's removable. We have the back wings. In fact, I haven't even fully taken that out, but maybe we'll save that for the transformation. Now, the backpack part, again, has that area I was talking about, so we can kind of look at it underneath here, where there's a few joints. Let's see, yeah, we can get a good view here. You can kind of see there's a bunch of joints under here that you can really put it in any angle you want. Now, that could be good or that could be bad. It was probably made that way to make the transformation a little easier, but it's just bad because then there's more points of articulation you have to manage as you are putting it together. All right, so with the head, does the turn you would expect. It kind of goes a little back and forth, kind of limited due to the back there. It does have a side to side, but if you were going to try to do some pose where it's looking and looking down, looking back, you can kind of, for that menacing look, it can do that. Fortunately, for the arms, it has its the shoulder piece here moves up, and this does too, but that seems to be to the extent of it, which is fine. It has a rotation here that's not on this white part. That white part does not move. As we move down, it's got the side flap here, and this, if I can get it on the first try, probably not. Yeah, I did. And you can actually have a beam saber plugged into here. I actually have that to the side. We'll take a look at that with the accessories here in a second, but that's what it looks like. It's kind of tiny. It does have the section to plug it in onto the side. Unfortunately, it's not the case with the hand. Yeah, we'll get to that too. As we move down, here's where you can kind of see the metal on the joints, which is really nice. It kind of keeps things sturdy, but this allows it to move back probably more than you really need it to. But that's, I guess, nice it's there. I guess when I say more than you need it to, it's probably there for the Wave Rider transformation. The knees also have, a little bit of joint stuff going on, not too much. The feet kind of got that side to side, moves back. This part also moves back. That would probably have to do with transformation as well. Really like the detail on this. The metal, it contrasts with like the piping look they have with some of the plastic, and I think that just overall gives that a nice look. But back here we have the back skirt. The flaps both move. The front Those also move as well. There seems to be a little bit of movement of this whole piece. It's possible that it just comes off. Let's see if there's any waist swivel. How far can we go? It looks like that's pretty good, actually. I don't want to do it too much, but it looks like I loosened it up, so I got to hand it to them for the waist swivel. And let's see, I think that's about it with the articulation. As you can see, a fully articulated Robot Spirits action figure, so it's just great in that regard. So let's look at some accessories. We've got, I just noticed that. I wonder if that is a magnet or something, but we've got the shield, which is really nice, and it has this component here where you can take it off and adjust how far in it is, how far out it is. There's probably some other options too. That plugs right into the side there. Let's, all right, we have the rifle here. This looks great because it has the detailing. It has a little metal pins for the joints, which is nice. So does this move forward? Yes, it does. To kind of close. Does the top move? No. Ammo. Cartridge comes off. Nice. Oh, yeah, that's right. And this extends, so he can do his little shooty-shooty. So that is nice. Here is one of the beam sabers that came from the side skirt. I kind of like that storage, even though I'm more of a fan of the mobile suits having the beam saber kind of stick out of the back like a samurai sword. I do like also that hilt side skirt idea. And this is one of the beam saber blades it comes with. It also comes with its giant mega particle beam cannon that I have not even bothered with. It has so many components in here that we'll probably get to that here shortly. I'm sure that's supposed to happen for some reason, but we'll probably get to that later. And I think this has some movement to it. Yeah, that just popped out. Yeah, we'll get more to that later. Here's the other beam blade it comes with. I think it's pretty nice. It's kind of more action-oriented. We see this with a lot of the Stardust Memory Robot Spirits, but that is a nice look. Here is a gigantic translucent piece. This probably has to do with the transformation mode, so we'll get to that shortly. All right, I'm trying to be careful with all the little pieces and accessories, but one thing I forgot to point out was that the V-fin here actually moves up, so it does that little transformation on its own, which is nice, and that just came apart. That actually happened to me earlier. Because what it actually does is it comes with what I should probably keep on, and that is a non-transformable piece. Let's see, it's kind of tough. Not too hard of a plastic like sometimes we see. But it also comes with the transformed part to keep on, so I think that's also a great option for when you are transforming it and you don't want the loose pieces coming apart like you just saw. And then, various hands. It's got a, trigger finger here. It's got the fist here. It's got the splayed hands here. It's also got the beam saber with the thumb here. We kind of see the different beam saber hands, but that's one of them. And then we kind of have this relaxed look, which is really nice. I kind of like that. Also, for the side where I had the shield, it comes with the blue little armor piece or component that you can plug into when not using the shield. Or that might be part of the transformation. I guess we'll see. Something I gotta admit I like about this, even though there's a lot I don't, is it has the translucent connector piece. It has two of them. It has one right here, and actually one that's already connected that I'm using. And we'll get into a second where I'll show you that it's just not sturdy. It's pretty annoying. And then lastly, before I move on, this part's pretty cool. Here's some of the landing gear that goes with the Wave Rider form, and they're actually metal. And so that's pretty cool that they've added that as being metal. I guess there's a lot of long, thin parts that could break easily, especially if it's resting on that to hold up the Wave Rider. And then here is another piece that's probably a connector piece for the transformation. But yeah, let me get to transforming this thing. And just to show you real quick, there's actually quite a big guide for this. It kind of shows you, the stand, the different pieces to use, but the reason it's big is because, there is a buttload of transforming going on. Yeah, let's get started. I don't know if I'll regret this, but I do recommend taking off the legs for the transformation. All right, so I want to do a quick comparison. On the left is the metal robot spirits I just transformed. Kind of a pain, although as the more I got through it, the more I realized it's pretty practical and that it makes sense. Kind of had to try to translate the Japanese in my head. On the right is the Gundam fixed figuration from the Trilogy movie release. I will say that I love how the the Gundam fixed figuration has the real markings on the wings, and the other one doesn't. I'm actually surprised about that. Although the plastic from this one, it kind of warps. It's kind of loose. Part of the pieces from this head broke, I think. Yeah, down here we can see where there's something that broke. I don't know. This one was just kind of a real pain, although it just looks really good, so I've always kept it like this. Even I think the front is... Oh, no, it's this back part here that's actually... yeah, it's broken. Because it's just really loose, unfortunately. But, no, here is the Metal Robot Spirits one without the... that Mega Beam Particle Cannon, whatever it's called, attached to the bottom. It does have... I didn't put the... pieces on here. I'll probably put it on the stand that it comes with. But yeah, I don't know if the transformation is worth it. It's really hard for me to determine because I really don't feel like putting this back into its Zeta form just quite yet. But I will eventually. You know, and it reminds me of like the real grade, even the high grade, building that, transforming. I just think it's incredible that they've been able to come up with a design based on how elaborate the Zeta is and its Wave Rider form is anyway. So I think this is worth the asking price. It might be hard to get now. There could be some available. But let me know what you think in the comments. Are any of you familiar with transforming Zetas, whether it's the high grade, real grade, the Gundam Fix figuration, or, you know, the new Metal Robot Spirits version? You know, that other one that we were looking at earlier, this, and it keeps falling apart. This does not transform at all. Just an issue with it is that it is rather flimsy and the gun just came off. So, to have the perfect Zeta figure, I don't think has occurred yet. Or at least in this scale. I don't know about the Master Grade. I'd love to check that out. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. And be sure to subscribe. Got a contest going on. Video is in the description. And we'll catch you later.